Everything is bigger and better in Texas. At least that's what the famous slogan claims. Texas is famous for their love of freedom, football, guns, and of course, family. But what happens when one family, very loved by the community, is thrown into complete tragedy, and come to find out it was caused by one of their very own? This was the case of 18-year-old Cesar Olalde, a Texas high school student who, under the belief that his family was planning to kill him and then eat him, decided to take matters into his own hands and unfortunately massacre his entire family on a Tuesday morning in May 2023. How does something like this happen in such a tight-knit, loving community? And what made Cesar believe that his family wanted to kill and eat him? Though this case was very recent, today we're going to take a closer look at the Olalde family and what may have caused such a situation to unfold. This is the case of Cesar Olalde. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Wicked and Wild, where we cover all types of true crime, whether solved or unsolved, terrifying and tragic, or just plain wicked and wild. I'm your host, Tyler, here to give you exactly what you came for, and with that being said, let's jump right into it. Located in the beautiful state of Texas, and more specifically, the town of Nash, you'll find the hardworking Olalde family. The Olaldes are a family of 6, consisting of parents Ruben and Ada, and their 4 children, Diana, who's the oldest, and who lived elsewhere at the time of this event, Lisbeth, 24, Oliver, 5, and the main focus of today's story, 18-year-old Cesar. Cesar was born in the U.S. on January 8, 2005, and is a proud member of the Latino community, with both of his parents migrating from Mexico in search of a better life for themselves and their family. The Olaldes were well liked and known to be a very hardworking, kind, and caring family among the local community. Cesar attended Texas Middle School and was said to be a normal young boy with no noticeable negative or worrying differences. During middle school, Cesar seemed to have a bright future, being pulled into all AP classes, seemed to do very well and kept good grades throughout school. With this case being so recent and still ongoing, there isn't much information on Cesar, but the information that is available is actually from Cesar himself. Cesar had to do a school project in 7th grade named This Is Me. This was a project designed for Cesar and other fellow classmates to open up about their personal life, including family, hobbies, goals, and other future plans. Cesar's project would explain his love for soccer and video games, especially when suffering anxiety and using video games as a stress reliever. He would also write about his family, his Latino heritage, and his plans of one day attending Southern Arkansas University with the goal to study in medicine. Having always done well in school with seemingly no signs of trouble or red flags of any kind, Cesar had some notable changes during his time attending Texas high school. Cesar became noticeably more distant and seemed to avoid making any new friends. He also started to slack on schoolwork and become a sort of loner. Even during these noticeable changes, at the same time neighbors would comment that Cesar would always be seen with his dad doing yard work, and that the Olalde family as a whole were always kind, happy, loving, and super friendly people. Nonetheless, Cesar was on track to graduate from Texas high school in 2023 and had taken an interest in plumbing, where he was looking to break into the trade by becoming an apprentice and having plans to maybe one day start his own business. And just when the Olalde family looked like they were truly living the American dream, tragedy would strike on Tuesday, May 23, 2023, that would forever change Cesar's life and shock a community to its very core. On a beautiful Tuesday morning, the community of Nash, Texas was waking up for the day, while 35-year-old Joseph Leiden, his wife, and other staff started their shift at their church. That's when everyone realized that Lisbeth Olalde, Cesar's sister, was nowhere to be found. This was very unusual for Lisbeth, as she would always show up for her shift at church. But assuming there might be a reason for this, Joseph and the church staff began to call Lisbeth's phone to make sure that everything was okay. After taking turns calling Lisbeth and with no answer, Joseph and his wife decided to take a drive to the Olalde family household for a checkup. After arriving at the Olalde household, Joseph and his wife walked up to the house and knocked on the door. After patiently waiting some time and after continuous knocking, and still no sign of life, they decided it'd be best to make a forced entry. Immediately after making their way inside, the couple was face to face with 18-year-old Cesar Olalde, pointing a gun straight at them. Attempting to keep calm and minimize risk, Joseph told his wife to exit while Joseph stayed with Cesar. Focused on being observant and still looking for any sign of Lisbeth or the rest of the Olalde family, Joseph noticed bullet casings on the ground, and even worse, blood trails all leading to the same area in the house. Before Joseph could even process what he was seeing, Cesar would end up explaining the horror that had happened. Cesar was in a frantic state, and though speaking clearly, was making claims that were almost too outrageous to even believe. Cesar would frantically explain how he had no choice but to kill his entire family because he knew that they were cannibals, and he knew that they were plotting to kill him and then eat him. Cesar had shot and killed his parents, along with Lisbeth and his 5-year-old brother Oliver, before dragging their bodies one by one into the bathroom. While Cesar was explaining both his delusion and foul act to Joseph, Joseph's wife was on the phone with local police. Police were quickly dispatched to the house and, among learning the severity of the situation, called for any further available units. With Joseph still in the house and trying to keep Cesar calm, negotiating teams were then brought in and got a phone to Cesar in an attempt to resolve the situation peacefully. With the Olalde's house now surrounded with both specially trained hostage situation experts and police ready and willing to commence in a firefight if need be, you'd think it'd be enough to scare an 18-year-old boy immediately into surrendering. But not Cesar. First, after threatening the officers that he would shoot one of them, Cesar began talking to negotiators. It was a very tense situation for everyone involved, especially for police, not knowing for sure if everyone inside really was deceased or if there was still a chance to save them. Finally, after 2 long hours of carefully and skillfully talking Cesar down from his assumed delusions, Cesar thankfully decided to give himself up peacefully, where he was then immediately arrested, and Joseph, thankfully unharmed, was then reunited with his wife. Unfortunately, this is where investigators would confirm that both Cesar's parents, along with his sister Lisbeth and 5-year-old brother Oliver, were in fact deceased. The community was completely shook up and certainly beyond disbelief that something like this could happen in their small, tight-knit community. Many people in the community had trouble coming to terms that this could even happen, especially with a chunk of residents actually knowing the family and Cesar. This is when locals heard the shocking details and supposed reasons behind this massacre, and it was truly enough to shake this small community right to its very core. Cesar had truly believed that his family was plotting to kill him, with the motive of eating his remains when it was done. And it's not clear why Cesar believed this, or when he made this so-called discovery. Many mental illness experts jumped into debate among the news breaking the story, with many experts actually believing that Cesar may have truly believed his delusion during the crime. The reason for this is because most people who claim such outrageous things after committing a heinous crime do so to get out of legal trouble, in the hopes of receiving a not guilty verdict due to insanity. The difference with Cesar is that he was rambling about his fear of being killed and eaten by his parents to Joseph right when he got in the house, versus other people who say these types of things while being interrogated as to make an impression of being mentally ill or just plain crazy. Cesar frantically explaining to Joseph that he had to strike first before his family did shows that Cesar was truly in a state of paranoia, fearing for his life. And again, with this case being so recent, it's hard to say whether or not Cesar actually knew what he was doing was wrong while committing the crime, and will most likely undergo a lengthy process to determine the true state of his mind, both when the crime occurred and now. Cesar is currently being held on a $10 million bond at Bowie County Jail awaiting for his trial. Being in the state of Texas, unless deemed not guilty by reason of insanity, it's a very real possibility of Cesar receiving the death penalty for his own family massacre. The only other surviving member of the Olalde family is Cesar's other sister, Diana, who I send my deepest condolences to. Diana has made a GoFundMe page, which I'll post in the description below. And true to Southern hospitality, the local community and others have together raised over $60,000, which is absolutely incredible. Diana's GoFundMe describes her late family members, and of course, it's the same description that friends, neighbors, and other mutual people say about the family. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, this case is so recent that there is such limited information out there, and any information that I could find, I included. And again, I will post the GoFundMe in my description if you guys would like to donate. I'm sure she could use all the support. With that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys thought about it. And if you guys ever have a case that you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Comment it below. I read all comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one.